to make this overhead GUI which tells you your rank in game, then you're going to want to make sure you watch all of this video so you don't miss out on anything. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is AlvinBlocks and today we will be making this overhead GUI. Now before we begin, if you want to master Roblox scripting and become a better developer, then you're going to want to make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and you've turned on the notification bell so you do not ever miss a video which I produce. So first things first, we're going to need to create a billboard GUI. Now this is the thing which we will have inside our player, and it allows us to create a GUI in a part which we can see in game. So instead of it just being 2D on our screen, it's actually in the game world and it can follow our player. So we're going to insert a part, and then inside of this part we're going to insert one of these billboard GUIs, and we do this by right clicking on the part, hovering over insert objects and clicking on billboard GUI. Now you're going to want to click on the billboard GUI which we just inserted, and we're going to want to make sure we have the properties tab open. If you don't have it open, you can click on view up here and you can select properties and explorer, and you're going to want to scroll down until you see the property which is called always on top, and you want to make sure that is checked, so that if something is overlapping our player or something's in the way, we can still see our billboard GUI. But if you don't want this, say for example you wanted to not see people in your game, if you had a murder game, you didn't want to look through the walls, you might want to have this turned off. Anyway, what we then want to do is scroll down even further until we find studs offset. You're going to want to click on the little arrow next to it, and then you're going to want to find the Y property, and you want to change this to 2 so that the billboard GUI will always be 2 studs higher than our player, the object which it's in. This is so we can always see it and it doesn't get stuck hidden behind our player's character. So click enter, and then we just need to right click on the billboard GUI, hover over insert object, and we can click on text label. This will create the tag which will be above our head, and we can customize it later on to say our rank. So I'm going to scroll down, in fact I'm going to change the background transparency to 1, and once I've done that I'm going to also want to change the text colour. I'm going to change that to white for now just so that we can see it, and I'm also going to make sure that text scaled is turned on. Once we've done that, we can take the billboard GUI and we can just place it in server storage, and we don't need this part anymore, so you can just delete it. Next, you're going to want to right click on server script service, and we're going to hover over insert object again, and we're going to click on script. And now we're going to get into the scripting where we can actually give this billboard GUI to a player. Firstly, we want to make a variable which will reference the billboard GUI in the server storage. So we're going to say local billboard GUI equals game :get service open bracket close bracket, and inside these brackets we're going to put some speech marks and we're going to say server storage, and then we can say wait for child open bracket close bracket, and in these brackets we're going to put the billboard GUI because we're getting the service called server storage, and then we're waiting for the billboard GUI to be added. So we're waiting for the game to load and everything to be ready for us to start the scripting. Then what we're going to want to do is have a player added event which will run when a new player enters the game. So we can say game.players.player added :connect open bracket function open bracket player close bracket. What this is going to do is it's going to be on the lookout for when someone enters the game, and when they do we're going to reference them as player because we don't know what their name is yet. So we're referencing them as player, and when someone joins we're going to substitute this player. The script will automatically substitute it with the actual player's name. So if Shadletsky joined the game, wherever we use player in this event will change to Shadletsky, and the player will have whatever we've put inside this event done to them. So if we made their torso blue, Shadletsky's torso would go blue when he enters the game. So we're going to drop a few lines and put an end with a closing bracket, and anything inside of here will run when a new player joins the game. So we're going to want to check if they need a tag, if they're a certain role, if they have a game pass, or if it's just a player who's a developer. We want to check their name or see if they're a VIP or something. So we're going to say if player.name equals, and then we can have a pair of speech marks. Then drop a line and make sure that an end has been added in. And then what we can do is in these speech marks we can put a certain player's name. So if you had someone who you wanted to give a developer tag to, you could put their name in here, or if you're the owner you could put your name in. So I'm going to put my username in, Alvin Blocks, and so if I have joined the game, then I'm going to want to create a clone of that billboard GUI in server storage, and I want to put it in my head. So to do this, we're going to say local cloned GUI equals billboard GUI colon clone open bracket close bracket. We're just getting the billboard GUI, which we defined as a variable earlier, and we're cloning it. So we then need to drop a line, and we're going to say cloned GUI dot parent equals game dot workspace, and then we can say in square brackets player dot name. Remember, we don't know what our player is going to be called, so we just say player dot name, and we put them in these square brackets because if we didn't and we said game dot workspace dot player dot name, it would think that there's somebody called player in the game when it's not. We're substituting in the player, which we have up here, the parameter. So we're going to put it in square brackets, player.name, and then we're just going to want to write .head because that's where it's going to be stored. The parent of the cloned GUI will be the player's head. And then all that we need to do is change the colour of the text and change what the text says. So we can say cloned GUI dot text label dot text equals, and then we can have some more speech marks, and then inside of those we're going to put the rank which they will get. So I'm the owner of the place, so I will say owner. And if you want to change the colour of the text, you can say cloned GUI dot text color dot text label dot text color 3 equals color 3 dot from RGB open bracket close bracket, and then you can put your 3 digits of the color in these brackets. So you can go to the properties of the text label and you'll be able to find these 3 numbers. These are RGB values and they make up a colour. So you can see down here when we choose a new colour, they change. So choose a colour from the colour picker, note down the RGB value and write it in. So I want a yellowish colour and the RGB is going to be 231-206-12. So I'm going to write it in here. 231-206-12, and that's going to make it yellow. So that is one tag done. If you want to have multiple players, you just need to copy this if statement and paste it, and then you're going to want to change the player's name and the text and maybe the colour if you want a different rank. And if you want to check if a player has got a game pass, you can say if game.marketplace service colon player owns asset open bracket close bracket, and then you can put in the player and the ID of the asset. I think it's player first and then asset. So yes, you write player and then you can put your asset ID, so the game pass ID, and if they have the game pass then they will get the tag. So that's how you do it for a game pass. If you want to do it for a group, then you can say if player colon is in group open bracket close bracket, and then if you write your group ID in here, then it will check to see if that player has joined your group, and if they have, then you can give them a tag as well. So that was how to make an overhead chat a tag rank for your players. So, thanks for watching this tutorial. If you'd like to see more videos from this playlist, you can click on the thumbnail, which is on